Hello. Okay, sorry. All that energy it went nowhere.
You just used all of it.
All right. Welcome back to our podcast. This is the Miss You That's All podcast. I am your co-host Kayla.
And I'm Kayla's co-host, Ashlee.
Okay, so what's new? What you been up to, pal?
Not much. This weekend's been kind of productive. We went into Tulsa yesterday and got some groceries, and we went and got supper because we had nothing to eat. Like, no kind of dinner with a protein at all. So we got dinner while we were out, and it was raining the whole time, which was not fun. And then today we just kind of hung out around the house, and Brandon made uh, whatever kind of chicken he was saying a while ago. Because, we went to Barnes & Noble yesterday because we've been wanting to, like, eat different than, like, the 5 things we have on rotation. And
Yeah.
so he got a new cookbook, and we were in Barnes & Noble, and it was, like, a little U shape of cookbooks, and, like, almost did it again. So we were in the U shape, and the bigger kid was on the floor looking at a cookbook, and the little one was on the floor looking at a cookbook, and we just had like that whole little area, like just us, like just roaming around looking at cookbooks. And I was like, "You're fine. If you're not yelling in here, I really don't care what you're doing. Just be easy with the book, so I don't have to buy it because you messed it up. So just chill out, and you're
Yeah.
fine." So that was fun. We found a cookbook, and he tried something else because I don't really cook anymore. Brandon kind of cooks all the time, which is nice because
Nice.
I don't like cooking that much. Like sometimes I do. Like when I make gumbo and I'm like dicing and like going through all that, it's fun. But if I had to do that every day, I don't think I could. It's not me.
Yeah. Johnny and I tend to split it up too. I usually cook on probably like Monday, Tuesday when I'm normally not working, and then he cooks like Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday. So it's nice.
Yeah. What did you do?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I've been doing everything and nothing all at the same time. Yesterday, let's see, I worked, and then yesterday I ran some errands, went to the mall. I had some coupons to use, so I went and bought some stuff. Proud of myself. I did not like go crazy. I literally only bought a couple things. Um, some tank tops, well, one tank top, and then I bought 2 bodysuits. So, and then I got some
Nice.
Valentine's pajamas. Um, and then I had to go like pick up a whole bunch of dog food because Johnny is currently gone on a work trip, and I don't know if our dogs are just like boycotting because we're not both here, or it's like I'm working long hours, or what's going on, but they're not happy, and they've all like decided they don't like their food. So we're trying different things and trying to put little meal toppers and stuff on it so that they will eat the expensive food that now they've decided they don't like. And I have like half a bag left and I don't want to waste it. Super frustrating.
Yeah,
Then
that
I
is
ran into
frustrating.
Ulta and grabbed um some mousse and like volumizing mousse for your hair or whatever. I saw some girl use it the other day on Instagram and it looked good. And I meant to
Nice.
buy it the other day and I bought the wrong thing. So went back and got the right one. Yeah. Got distracted and bought the wrong thing. So um
That's fair.
ultimately I think that's it. Watched church at home this morning so that my dogs weren't left alone for a long time, and then went and saw my grandmother, helped my dad with some stuff, and I don't know, busy but low key at the same time, I guess.
That's fair. I haven't really done that much today. I've kind of just been laying around, and Brandon's been like hanging out with the kids, and it's funny because like as the day went on, he was like prepping that chicken to do it because it was kind of like a marinade for a while thing, and then uh, he cooked breakfast this morning, and so like the kitchen, there was something on like every space, and he was getting very overwhelmed, and he started like kind of getting snappy with the kids, and I was just like, this makes me feel so normal, because I always feel like I'm a terrible mother, because I'm always like, stop talking for just a minute, like just let me finish this, let me get something situated, and then I'll deal with you. But they don't care. They're the bigger one's at an age where he never, ever, ever stops talking. And then we have a toddler who is like cling wrap all the time. And so it just gets overwhelming. And I'm just like, okay, I'm glad that it's not me and I'm not a terrible parent. It's just our kids are at that age and we're parents, and that's life. That makes me feel so much better. But
Yeah.
I, I finally had to come down because I was reading a book, and I came down and I was like, you know how I always tell you, like, you gotta chill because I'm at the point where I'm about to freak out on you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, Daddy's almost at that point, so you need to chill. He's about to freak out on
Mm.
you. Because, like, we can read social cues. Like, we understand, we can hear it in their voices. They're about to freak out. Kids don't care, even if they could. Like, I don't even know that they can't. They just don't care if they can. So I'm like, you gotta bring it down. So, because if dad snaps on you, you're going to cry, and then everybody's going to be upset. Everybody's going to feel bad. So just bring it back. Everything's fine. And I'm like, Brandon, you got to chill a little bit. You're going to feel bad if you snap on them and you hurt their feelings. And he's like, I know. I just don't care. And I'm like, I understand. I get it. I do. Well, stuff will stick. And I could say something to him and not think anything of it, and it stay with him forever. And so I'm trying to be
Mm-hmm.
more mindful of which I feel like I always have, but I've just trying to take it a little further and just, not traumatize my kid. I'm trying really hard
Yeah.
not to traumatize my kid.
Yeah, that makes sense. At least you're trying.
Yeah. Well, like, one thing, we're probably about to get way deeper in our than we ever planned to on our podcast, but one thing that's always stuck with me, I was around age, and my dad's an alcoholic, and I always knew that my mom said that whenever they got married, she told him it was either going to be her or alcohol, and he chose her, and he got sober. Well, then not long after they got married, she got pregnant with me, and then I knew their marriage went downhill quickly, but I remember asking her, like, when did he start drinking again? Because I knew that, like, there was a point where he stopped, and then there was a point where he started again. And she was like, well, not long after you were born. And so in my little mind, I was like, oh, so it was me. Like, because she like put those things together.
Yeah.
It was me. And so for my whole life, I'm like, well, did he not like being a parent? Like, is that what caused all that? And I'm like, she could have said that so differently. She could have said, a year in, a year and a half in. Like, she could have used another frame of reference, but she said shortly after you were born. So my brain was like, oh, me. It's my fault.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, I got to pay attention to what I say to my kid, because I don't think she meant it that way, but that's the way I took it. So I'm like, okay, I got to be
Yeah.
mindful so I don't slather my kid in trauma, because I'm really trying hard not to do that. Anyway.
Yeah. On a more lighthearted topic, this week we will be talking about how we are not minimalist people.
We're really not.
So I was literally like just thinking about this before we started recording. I don't feel like I'm a maximalist, because I feel like saying you're a maximalist would be like hoarder levels, like buried
Mm-hmm.
alive kind of thing. But I'm definitely not a minimalist, because when I think of minimalist, I think of like clean, sleek, like almost, it's a like aesthetically pleasing emptiness, but I don't like emptiness like that. Like we bought
Mm-hmm.
our home and I wanted to fill it with things. But then I did get to a point where I'm like, I filled it too much. Like, I look around different rooms and I'm like, where'd all this stuff come from? So I am a
Yeah.
Mediumist and not the
That's
kind
fair.
that reads cards or whatever. Not that. I'm a middle ground. I don't want tons of things, but I'm also not, let me just have 5 staple pieces and I'll figure out how to make 57 outfits. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Or like, I don't remember if we shared this video, but it was there's that video going around of this girl who opens her cabinet and she's like, "There's 2 of us, so we have 2 mugs." No, that means you have to wash those 2 mugs and put them away every day. 4.
Yes. Who
Have 4.
has who has that kind of time?
Right. 4 mugs.
And
That's the way I think of things. You should have enough that if you don't want to do dishes, you can still drink coffee.
absolutely. I agree with that. I don't like, because we've talked before about like overconsumption and all that. Like, I don't need 50 Stanley Cups, but if I bought one and it was like, I bought this one because it's what I could get my hands on, not the one that I loved. And so then later, a couple months later, when they had more options, I bought another one. Like, I work hard for my money. I'm going to take joy in the little things in life that make me happy. If having this other cup makes me happy, that's what I'm going to do. Like, no, I don't need 57 cups,
Mm-hmm.
which my husband would probably tell you that's how many I have, and then some. That's another story for another time. I'm not perfect. There's just things that make people happy. And if that's what makes you happy, then do that.
Mm-hmm. We're both firm believers in like if we want it, we have it, we get it. But there's definitely a line. Like we want a Stanley Cup. I have 2 Stanley Cups. I think the max you should have is maybe. What is happening? Did you see that?
I don't know.
What was that?
I have no idea, but it makes me wonder if we're going to be able to see it when we go to edit this, because I don't know if you know, but like a couple times last week, it's something to do with Apple, because like sometimes I do like this and it like puts a thumb on the
Mm-hmm.
screen and I don't know.
Yes.
Look, can you see that?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, but yeah, and I don't know if you can see that in the other ones or not, but I've been able to see it like every so often, but you've never said anything, so I didn't want to say anything and make a big
Well,
deal.
you never.
But
I have seen it, but you didn't say anything, so I was like, I don't know if that's like saying, "Hey, good job, it caught the thing," and it like caught whatever we were saying. You look crazy.
I don't know how to make it
You
do
look,
what the
you
balloons.
look
How
like
did you
you're
make it do
throwing
that?
gang symbols. I don't know. I did this. I said 2 Stanley Cups.
I don't know.
I don't either. Uh, Speaking of gang symbols, this is off topic, but do you ever stop and think like the mafia is real? Like that's a real thing. They really do that. Do you ever do that? Like, cause we both come from like tiny little places, and I forget that like there's danger out in the world. Like gangs, we didn't have gangs where we grew up, and then you go to these cities, and it's like my friend recommended this little Italian place whenever I went with Haley to New York, and like we went and it was great. It was super tiny, super hole in the wall. And so after I texted her and I was like, that place was really good, like thanks for recommending it. And she was like, oh yeah, we always go there. She's like, it's normally really mobbed up. And I was like, excuse me, what? Pardon? You're telling me I risked my life for some ravioli? Are you serious? I could have died for this. I mean, it was really good. So I don't I I really like pasta. I probably would have done it anyway. But at the end of the day, I was like, you just told me that there was mafia in there? Is it ran by the mafia? Is that the Don's son, grandson? Like I was really like overcome with the fact about this. And I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of get in my own little world and I forget that stuff like that is actually, it's not just in the book that I'm reading. Because I just read a book about like, it was like a mob romance. But I was like, this is real. This isn't like made up stuff. This is real.
Oh my gosh. So,
Sorry. Anyway.
first, I like that you said we both come from small little places, like we came from somewhere different. Second, I have lived other places, so there most definitely was gangs when I lived in South Carolina for a brief period in my life. Um,
There was
as a
gangs
kid.
there?
Like,
Wow.
yes. Yes.
Hmm.
And then also, you talking about like mobs and mafia made me think about, I paused because I don't know if you were already graduated or not, but there was a particular English teacher at our school who came later. She was not always around, if you know who I'm talking about.
Did people like her or
And
not like her?
they did not like her.
Ooh, okay, I know who you're talking
And
about.
a rumor went around that she was part of the mafia, like her family was. And I didn't know if that was something that went around while you were still in school or not.
No, it definitely was not. I would have been terrified. And Rita was mean to her. It was like the one time Rita had to go to the school and like show her butt. And it was like my last month of like that last April before I graduated. And I was really sick and I missed like that whole chunk. And she was telling everybody I needed to come up there and be at school. And Rita was like, she can't. She's sick. They won't allow it. Do you want anybody to be able to graduate? But yeah. Wow. I could believe it. Wasn't she from South Louisiana?
So I don't know. What I know is that when like my class had her, she would say very weird things sometimes. And like when you would ask her about like stuff in her past, she would be very vague. Like she did not actually answer us. And so like people in our class became convinced cuz like she would say weird stuff. And we were
She
like,
would,
why do I
because
feel
I remember
yes. Like she
she had
was
a rule.
sh-
She had a rule that you couldn't have spiral notebooks because she was like, you can take the spiral out and use it as a weapon. And we were like, in what world do we have the time? And you're going to see us. That takes a minute. There's 15 of us in this room.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Huh.
And like
Interesting.
she would talk about her kids and like she was just so vague and weird and it was like very like I don't know it just it didn't seem legal like something was sketchy because she would just say things and you're like why can't you just answer us like you're wanting to be all up in our business but you
Right?
won't give us a straightforward answer about things. And we're genuinely just curious. Like, we weren't being jerks. Like, we were literally trying to get
Right.
to know the lady. And she would just be so strange. And sometimes, like, you would ask her about certain stuff, and she would just, like, shut down and just be like, okay, it's writing time. And, like, just avoid the whole time. We're like, what is wrong with her? Like, why won't she deal with this? And she wouldn't.
Hmm.
So, yeah, people thought she was part of the mafia.
That's fair.
That'll keep you awake tonight. You're welcome.
I'm gonna like deep search her and her family. Did she have kids? I'm trying to remember. Did she have kids?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll let you
Okay.
know. Anyways.
All right. So back on topic from our little
Oh, we're talking
sidebar
about
there.
yeah. We're talking about cups. Like I can see like the most someone should have of like the big tumblers. It's like maybe four. Like after four, because I mean at that point it's like you have a buddy you need to share one with. You take one to work every day and then wash it. Like after that, it's
Yeah.
like where are you putting these big jugs?
Yes. Where are you storing them all? If someone actually has like 50 and has a storage plan, drop a link. Let me know. How'd you do it?
There
Because,
are people. There's people out there who have like went insane, and it's like there's no reason for you to have that many.
yeah,
That's overconsumption because in a year these cups are probably not going to matter, and you really just have to be concerned about keeping your water cold to still like them because there's going to be something new and flashy because that's just the way it works. But
it is.
yeah, I don't.
Hmm.
Another thing that I do not feel like bad for being a mediumist, because I definitely, like, if I want something, I'm going to buy it. I'm not one of those people that's like, I have a coat, so I don't really need another coat. I mean, I think there's a line. Like, I have a shorter coat that's like my North Face jacket, and then I have my big ski jacket that's like longer for whenever we're up north, and then I have like my nice pink coat that I got for whenever I don't want to look like I'm going skiing. But there comes a point to where it's like, okay, I have multiple coats. I can't wear them all at once. Like, I need to stop.
Yeah.
But books. Nothing. I don't care that I read mostly on my phone. If I really like a book, I want the copy of it. And one day I'm going to have a library, and that thing is going to be tumbling out of that room full of books. I will never be one of those. I'm going to read just on my Kindle so I can save all those trees. No, I don't care. I don't care.
The environmentalists are coming for you, Ashlee.
No, and you want to know why I care? Because where we grew up is freaking Paperland, USA, and they have all of that land, and they cut all those trees, and then they plant more, and then they cut them, and then they plant them. They literally have a system. They can't cut them unless they replant them. Like, they even if they buy them from somebody else, you sign a contract, and they say they'll plant whatever kind of tree you want. Like, they'll even, like, if there's
Yeah.
pine trees, since that's like what's all there. Because whenever my mom and stepdad went through that, where they accidentally I don't know if you knew about that, where they accidentally cut over onto their property, and like they lost like half of the trees they had in front of their house. And oh yeah, it was a really big deal. But they got paid for it, and then they told them they would plant whatever kind of tree they would like there. So they were able to get different kinds of trees that they didn't have before because there was already a tree there.
Nice.
But yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
even though I do read a lot on my phone through Kindle, but if I really like a book, I want to have that paperback, hardback copy of that book.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Are you okay? You stretching it out?
Yeah. I don't know. I was like scratching, but I don't know. Like having a sensory moment. Sorry.
That's fair.
Um, yeah. Like on back on the coats thing, like I feel like that's how you know you're like a mediumist because a minimalist would be like, I have one coat. That's all I need. Period. But
What if you get that
a
coat dirty?
max a maximalist is like, I need this coat and I love it and I need it in 17 colors. And you're not that either. I feel like you have the appropriate variation. Like each coat is for different things. Like you have a nice one for when you're dressed up, you have one for when, it looks like it's Antarctica outside and you're dealing with that. And then you have one that's just like, hey, it's wintertime and I probably need to have a coat on, but it doesn't have to come like to my kneecaps. So, but I'm also not looking fancy, because it's Tuesday and I'm going to Target and the grocery store. So I don't need
Uh,
something flashy that says, hey, look at me when I'm wearing sweatpants and my hair's in a bun. So I feel like that's the appropriate amount to have. I just like having options. Maybe it's like the body dysmorphia, but I gotta have options because sometimes I build things up in my head and outfits turn out to be great and I'll wear them once and then another day I'll be having a fat day and I'm like, no, no, like I hate this. Why do I even own this? I hate this. And so I got to have options. That's why I overpack for every trip. I'm going for 3 days. I've got 32 options. You best believe. My husband probably thinks I'm a psychopath. It's fine. But it's
and
much
see, this
better
is
than the
why I love our
psychopath.
girls' trips. Sorry, go ahead.
Why? No, you're good.
This is why I love our girls' trips, because we both overpack. And then we both overpack, we essentially have like a closet in the room for between the two of us.
Yes. Yes. Just trade stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on a trip and I don't have options, I wish I wasn't like this, but I will like have a meltdown. If I'm just having a bad day about like how I look or what looks good on me, like I will just have a freak out. And I'm like, I have to go buy something that I'm happy with because otherwise I'm going to have a whole meltdown and just feel ugly the entire day and I'm going to be sobbing uncontrollably. Like,
Like whenever you freaked out in Vegas about that top and you were like, get it off
yes.
of me. And I was like, I'm trying.
Yes. Or me and Johnny were on vacation that same month when we went to Mexico. I was getting ready for dinner and I put on a dress and it was like this spaghetti strap and like lace or whatever. And I put it on and for whatever reason I didn't like it. And I had a panic attack and couldn't get it off. I literally ripped one of the straps trying to take it off because I was freaking out. And I can't do it. Like I have to have options or I will just sit there and cry and be like, I'm ugly and fat and I can't do this today. And I'm just gonna like lay in bed and a day of vacation is gonna be wasted. I wish I was not that dramatic, but it is what it is, and it's who I am. If any therapists out there want to help me with that, feel free. Tell me how to
Whatever.
work through that problem.
Don't let them take your sparkle.
I feel like everyone has their I was about to say guilty pleasure, and I still feel like that's the right word, but or obsession maybe. I don't know, guilty pleasure sounds rather indecent, but like
Inappropriate.
like I have an obsession with shoes though. Like I love
Oh,
shoes.
you
Even if
and sneakers? Ugh.
yeah.
I
and
try to help
but
you, man. I try to tell you, but I can only do so much before I'm like, Kayla, quit buying shoes. Oh my god, like because there comes to a point where I'm like, it's her money. Like I the best she knows she needs to help herself. So if I give her that moment of pause and she don't take it, it's a her problem. Buy the shoes, man. If you really want them, can't take it to the grave. Who cares?
honestly, the sneakers are not, in my opinion, what I consider to be the problem. Because a lot of times I utilize those for things. It's when I see a nice pair of like heels or booties, and I'm like, Kayla, do you even have an outfit for that?
Booty.
No, but they're on sale. So you best believe I'm about to buy them because I'm like, it was meant to be. This is a sign. It is on sale.
That's the thing you have to get away from. Quit buying stuff just because it's on sale. Quit shopping a place just because they're having a sale. Go for
Yes.
clearance. Clearance is where it's actually at. You don't
Yes.
have to put them up until the next season, but that's where it's actually at.
Yes. And I am doing like a ton better, but like I can honestly say that's something I've done. Like I saw a pair of shoes and was like, I have to have them. And like had no reason for them. I was just like, I want them, so I bought them. But
I
I have
keep
worn
thinking
them,
of
so
that. I keep thinking of that reel that's like, if I want it, I'll just buy it in another color. And I keep thinking of that. One thing that I do have trouble with, like a lot, and it doesn't matter if I have it in a color, is sweatpants. Like I probably
really,
have five pair of black. Yes, I probably have like five pair of black sweatpants. Which, to
I
be
don't.
fair, I don't work, and I mean I gotta have clothes. Why would I wear jeans around my house? What else am I gonna wear? Sweatpants. That's what.
I am so sorry. This is about to sound way harsher than intended, but tell me why you're you said, I mean, I don't work. What else am I supposed to wear? And my brain instantly went to, I'm a bum, so I don't look like a bum.
Screw you, man. That's mean. I saw a thing the other day, and it was like, how come, like, stay at home mom, if I wanted to go to work, I would literally have to pay somebody to do all these things for me. And like you have to pay somebody to wash the clothes, pay somebody to cook the food, like pay somebody to wash your kids.
Oh,
But you don't get to paid to do it. You're losing money because you don't get to work. And I was like,
oh,
man, that makes me
gosh.
so mad. Like this is booty. But whatever.
Oh gosh. I don't
And
know why
then
my brain went there, but it did. So sorry.
it does. No. I don't. See, like the other day I was walking and it was very, very cold. And I was wearing I was wearing
Sweatpants.
my no. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a rundown of exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing a pair of pink, like the brand Pink,
hmm
jogger type sweatpants, Lululemon socks, ankle weights, Lululemon tennis shoes, my MIT hoodie because that's where the big one's gonna go to college. I have all the faith in the world. Um, a North Face jacket, a beanie, and then these headphones. It was a Carhartt beanie. And I was like, I am wearing so much money right now to look like such a
Hashtag
freaking bum.
OOTD.
Yeah. How was I wearing that much money? And it's not like it was that much, but like those Lululemon tennis shoes, those were like $140. I don't remember how much they were. They were like over 100, but not 200. Those sweatpants were
Yeah.
probably like 30. Lululemon socks, $10 because I got them on sale. But still, that's $10 for one pair of socks. North Face jacket. Like, I was wearing all of that and I still look like I came crawling out of a gutter.
Mm.
Which just goes to show you that money can't buy class. Like, it can't make you. Just because you're wearing a lot of money, that doesn't make you look good. I've
A
definitely looked way
brand
more
ain't
put
what makes you
together. Yeah.
fancy.
No, it's not. I looked so rough. So rough. But hey, I walked that day for 30 minutes and it was
I've
24 degrees outside.
I've told you though, fashion is 1,000% perspective at this point because people be
Thanks,
wearing whatever
COVID.
they want. Whatever
It's
they want,
because of
literally.
COVID. Because we all thought we were going to die. So that we were like, we got to wear all the nice things. We got to wear them right now. This might be our only chance. And then our only chance never came. But we're like, yeah, nobody really cares anyway. Might as well just keep doing it.
Yes. And now people are wearing just whatever. And it's catching on and becoming trendy. And you're like, some of it, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, how did someone even put that together? And I feel like some outfits at times, I feel like are those I'm a minimalist, but I had to do laundry, so they only have two options. So they have like a designer top on and then like some swim trunk shorts on because that's the only options they have.
You know, what's really hard though is like, I don't know if Johnny's like this, but Brandon really is a minimalist. If I buy him a pair of shoes, he's like, why do you buy me shoes? I have a pair. He has one pair and he literally wears them until they fall apart.
hmm
And then I'm like, why? You have others. And like he really doesn't understand like nice shirts and like go outside and do things shirts. Like that's a shirt for later. Why are you doing that? I know your mama raised you better. I know she did because I know your mama. Like, get your life together. What are you doing?
So Johnny is a minimalist, but he doesn't look like it now because of my dad, especially with my dad living here. Because my dad will be like, I've bought 57 pairs of shoes this year, and guess what? I ended up not wearing 32 of them. Let me divide them between my son and my son-in-law, and here you go, because they all wear the same size shoes. So
God
at one
bless
point,
Chris and his shopping
literally,
addiction.
yes, like literally, at one point, he gave Johnny like 5 pairs of tennis shoes, I think. And Johnny was like, what are all these from? And I was like, well, because literally 2 of them were the exact same thing. And my dad was like, well, they were on sale and I thought I was going to. We're going to have to research these hand signals so that it stops doing it. I don't know how to make it do it.
And now
Anyway.
I won't do it.
No. Anyway,
Like,
um, he bought two of the same pairs of shoes, and they were just different colors. I'm pretty sure they were on sale. He thought he was gonna like them, and then he didn't, or he wore one and then didn't like it. I don't know. But the stuff he gives him is 90% of the time mostly brand new, like been worn a handful of times or never even worn. And so then Johnny has them and he puts them like in a rotation. And so now, like, he gave him all those tennis shoes. Like, Johnny wears every single pair of those tennis shoes. And so he went from when me and him met to having a pair of tennis shoes and wearing them until they had a literal hole and his toe was sticking out. And then finally going and buying one new pair, and he wore them until they wore out. So now he has like a whole bunch of stuff, but it's literally because of my dad. It's not because Johnny has decided, hey, let me go out and shop. I need all these things. However, the nice clothes thing is interesting with him because, like, he grew up with you wear your best to church. And so he has nice clothes and he doesn't like go out and work in the yard in them, but he's also not the type that, like, when we go to church, that he comes home and he's like, I have to change out of my nice clothes. Like, he will do things in them at that point. But for the most part, no, he doesn't like just put on nice clothes and go outside and work on something. But he's also not going to change because that's not who he is. He just feels like that's a lot of extra steps. He's like, that'll be fine. It's just clothes.
and then you're like, oh, well, that shirt you could have wore to church now has a grease thing the size of Texas, and you can't wear to church no more.
Some Sometimes, yeah. He realized that about some of his nicer pants. He's like, I do need more pant options. I'm like, yeah, probably so. They're all looking a little worked in, little lived in too much.
And
God love
like,
him.
I'm a firm believer that like you don't have to dress nice to go to church,
Oh,
but
no.
at the same time, like that is my like one of the very like whenever we were in Arkansas and I had a church that I went to every Sunday. That was the only time I had to get dressed up. I mean, I guess I could just get dressed up for to get dressed up, but that was a reason, and I didn't stick out. Everybody else was also dressed up,
Yeah.
and it was I liked it. Like I enjoyed having a reason to get up and fix my hair and do my makeup and wear the few nice clothes that I do have. I'm sad. I miss going to that church. It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, like, when we really got back into like going to a church and found one that we liked, I felt like I was wearing like jeans and sweaters all the time. And I was like, not there's anything wrong with that because our church is an array of people of all different styles. And but like, I had grown up dressing up and I like dressing up and feeling feminine and like wearing dresses or skirts and stuff like that to church. So I went and like got a couple different outfits because I felt like I was always wearing the same thing. And Johnny did grow up like, you wear nice clothes to church, and so he always
Yeah.
wears like dress pants and a button up. And so sometimes I would feel a little out of place wearing jeans standing next to him.
I think that might be a big part of growing up in like the Bible Belt is because like I grew up in a small Southern Baptist church and you wore your Sunday best.
Yeah.
You had to or you would get in trouble. I remember being grown, like a whole grown person. I had children and I went like I had to take Haley back or something and I wasn't planning on staying for that long and then I did and I stayed on a Sunday and I didn't want to go to church because the only pants I had with me had holes in the knees and Aunt Rose was there and I was like I can't go because if I go and I wear my pants with the holes in the knees I'll get in trouble. And Uncle Poochie was like, we don't care what you're wearing. And if she says anything, be like, well, I'm here. These are the only pants I have. Like, would you rather me not be here? Or would you rather me wear pants with holes in them? Which they were
Yeah.
like Gap jeans or something. Like, it's not like I looked raggedy, but it's all a mental thing for me. Like, I could not care less than I do about what you wear, but I definitely had it beat into me so much that I'm like I remember going to church one Sunday, like this past year, and somebody was wearing a hat, and I was like, "What are you doing?" why are you can't wear that in here. And it was just like, they're like 10 years older than me. And he was like, why? It was VBS week. And so we were all like planning to stay there after. And so we were all kind of dressed down because our VBS started on Sunday night and then went through Thursday.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got stuff to do. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. Like, it was just like such a knee jerk. Like, you can't do that, you whole almost 40-year-old person. What are you doing? And he was like, I'm living my life. I'm going to church and I got to go do some stuff. And I was like, oh, that's fair. That's cool.
Which, can I just say, I find that to be such an interesting concept that we are like, we need to dress our best for the Lord and, like respect him in that way and be presentable in his house and things like that. But at the end of the day, like, the Lord wants you in your broken and messiness. He doesn't care if your pants have holes in them.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, he doesn't care if that you
No, the
had
person who cares the
holes on
least.
your kneecaps. He cares that you're there to learn about him and take in that lesson and praise him. He doesn't care that your pants are ripped. He doesn't care that your shirt has a
Exactly.
stain on it. Like, but yes, we grew up with people that are like, you can't wear that. What do you mean? Like, Jesus doesn't care that I'm wearing this. Jesus is glad that I'm here in his
Mm-hmm.
house praising
Preach.
him. So,
It took a hard left.
uh, but anyway,
It's okay. Our 3 listeners won't mind.
no, they won't. They won't. I think we're pretty entertaining, even if no one's listening but us.
You know, I have been thinking a lot the past couple of days. If we become to where people, like important people, are aware of who we are, and they're like, if we get to the level of like, who's somebody that we both watch, like Elise Myers, like how she just kind
Yeah.
of started like saying stuff, and now she's like popular, and so she's like getting invited to things. If we're being invited to things, I'm gonna be like, sorry, you're gonna have to drag me out of my home. People looking at me and knowing my name, or like, because whenever we're traveling, if we go into a big city to explore and there's people who know who I am not going to know how. I'm hoping it's one of those things that, like, seeing people you like watch out in the wild, like, you don't realize who they are because it's just like another person you're passing by. I really hope that's the case,
Yeah.
because I don't think I can handle people knowing who I am. It will freak me out. Like, I didn't think of this like long term, like actually becoming something. Like, in my mind, this will always be us just talking to each other in a fancy way. But like, I have hope we get to a point to where we can make money. Like, that would be nice. That would be very nice. But if we get to the point to they're like, hey, do you want to come to the premiere for this Netflix movie? We're gonna be like, oh snap. I mean, I guess I can. Like, that makes me so anxious to think that it could get there. Because I feel like everybody who started a podcast, unless they were already pretty important people, like, they all
Yeah.
start with a listener that's a buddy.
Yeah. Oh, that's accurate. Um, I don't I don't know. I just think that it's fun at any level.
It
So
is.
whatever happens, happens. But I'm in agreement. I mean, we started out with this just being ultimately a fun way for us to talk to each other how we do every day. So, or every week.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like this episode had no real point.
mm-mm.
Like, I feel like we
It was
talked about it for
all
like
over the
just a bit.
place.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. We're still feeling things out. It's
Finding
fine.
our groove. Yeah. I mean, literally our bio says two long distance besties talking about everything and nothing. So,
Mm-hmm.
um this
Just a
episode can
nothing.
just be titled Scattered. We tried.
Category.
Off topic topic.
I was going to name it Mediumist, not the ghost kind.
Not the ghost kind. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
This has
All
been fun,
right.
though. Like, doing this has been a lot of fun.
It is fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
If we did get to the point to where, like, they were like, hey, do you want to come to this Disney Plus movie premiere?
Oh, I think it'd be
It
fun.
would
A
be fun,
reason
but
to
it would kind of be
dress up
terrifying.
and feel fancy.
That would be the only reason I think I would find it fun. I feel like it would be terrifying, like walking in front of all those people. God,
Nah.
it's so scary.
It'd be fine. It'd be fine.
I know you would hold my hand like you did in Vegas whenever my feet felt like they were about to snap in half because of my gait Louboutins that made me feel like my feet were standing in lava. Do you remember that table of that girls and they were like, "Aw, they're holding hands." It's like, "Oh, because I'm dying."
And then we had to go to Walgreens and wait in that insanely long line for you to get some flip-flops.
Army pants and flip-flops.
Yes.
Okay, bestie. Well, in conclude, we are not minimalist at all. We like our things. While simultaneously getting overwhelmed with clutter, we also create the clutter.
We are the problem. The first step is admittance. Admittance? Admitting it. Does admittance,
Couldn't tell you.
like, can you say admittance as in you're admitting to something? Or is it just admittance, like you can, like you're permitted to admit somewhere?
I don't
I've
know,
gone too
but on the
far. I'm
last
sorry.
episode, on the
Just
last
go back.
episode, you were talking about your skincare regiment, and that's definitely like the 54th regiment in the Civil War. Like, that's definitely not. It's regimen. And I was like, oh,
Really?
Kayla. Yes, because I thought it was, and then I Googled it to look it up. It's definitely regimen. Like a skincare regimen.
Why can't it be regiment?
I don't know.
Like,
Go Google it. It's two different.
but like, what is the definition of regiment?
I don't
Is
remember.
it? Does it have to be a military body or grouping?
It said something. It did say something about military.
Oh,
Hold on, let me pull up another thing.
For all the listeners that listened to last week's episode, my skincare has nothing to do with the military. For the military people spying on us, my skincare is not about you.
Okay, so regiment, a permanent unit of an army typically commanded by a colonel and divided into several companies, squadrons, or batteries, and often into 2 battalions, or rule or government over a person, people, or country. Oh, wait.
You know what?
Wait.
I grew up.
No, wait. The verb is organized according to strict, sometimes oppressive system or pattern. So I guess that would work.
Well, I was gonna say I blame my military upbringing if I used it wrong, but
a regiment
I don't know which is right.
Okay, what's happening? Why are they the same? This says regimen, a prescribed course of medical treatment, way of life, or diet for the promotion or restoration of health, or a system of government. What is happening? I hate everything.
I think I was right, is what that means. I used it okay.
I'll allow it.
If the brainiacs are listening, I'm sorry. I'm not the hope you were looking for in the world. I will misuse a word every single week.
This isn't the podcast of Britannica dictionaries. Like, calm down. Calm down. We're Southern. We make up half the words we say anyway.
Listen, if you're talking about last week's episode that hasn't even been published yet, then I don't care that I said skincare regimen because you said give me hostess or give me death, and no one is going to hear my skincare regimen mix up. People are not even going to remember what I said, okay?
Oh, I can't believe I said that. And you know what I bought yesterday? Hostess powdered donuts at the grocery
Hostess.
store. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm glad you got hostess instead of death this week. Long live Ashlee. Hear ye,
I
hear
want to make
ye.
it into a t-shirt. Maybe, you know how like the trick around it is like how that the girl you sent me, like her shirt said Barbie, but it didn't actually say Barbie, it had like a star. Maybe if we did a hostess and then instead of an O we put a big powdered donut.
Tell me why I had that exact same thought after that
Stop
episode
it.
when we recorded it. I went to bed because I sent you that about that girl's shirt. And then I was like, we could use a powdered donut for the O. And then I was like, somehow I feel like that would still not work because they would be like, it still spells it. But I was like, maybe, just maybe.
Maybe. Well, I'll look up copyright laws. I'll look into it.
Get back to me,
If our first piece of merchandise is about a powdered donut, it would be so on brand. Oh,
would it? Because I don't like powdered donuts.
Okay. Well, I carry half of this podcast on my back as well. Thank you very much.
I'm just saying, you said on brand for the podcast, and I'm half of the brand, and half of the brand doesn't like powdered donuts. So I'm not out here saying give me hostess or give me death.
You'd rather the death part than hostess?
That shirt I would wear though. Because I like hostess. I just don't like powdered donuts.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Maybe we can regroup. So do you remember how a few episodes ago in the conspiracy theory episode, we talked about living in a simulation? So I had another thing that made me feel like that is actually true. Because what if that's why like we all have very similar dreams? And they're like way more the same than they should be. Like some odd similarities that don't make sense to be there. Like, why can't we make sense of something like that? Or like the stuff that's like, we all had the same childhood. Like the whole thing where you dip your head in the water and you flip your hair back and you're the George Washington.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you that. How did that make it all the way? Like, how did we all? It's because somebody somewhere pushed a button and said, dip your head in the water and make your hair look like George Washington. And also, now I just think we probably really are in a simulation because Neil deGrasse, you know what I'm talking about? I think that's how you say his name. He's like super, 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 super smart. He said that it's possible, and so now I'm like, oh. It's stick a fork in me. I've cooked to however many degrees. I'm good. If he says it, then it's probably right.
So you saying that is funny because I had a moment yesterday where I was like, there's a glitch. Because I swear, I went to Ulta yesterday. Said that earlier. They have pink bags right now for Valentine's Day. I came home from Ulta, had the stuff, left it in a place I shouldn't have, and my dogs got to it. So when I got home, because I left again, and then when I came home, there was an Ulta bag torn up downstairs, and it was orange. And I was like, she handed me a small pink bag. And being the makeup girly that I am, I'm like, they got another bag. So I like went around my house because I've been to Ulta more than I care to admit in the last few weeks. And so I have bags. And all the other bags were accounted for. And my friend Jessica had been with me. And she was like, no, we got pink bags because it was Valentine's Day. And I was like, right. She handed you a big one because you bought more stuff and me a small one. And she was like, it was a pink bag. And I was like, yes, but they tore up one of the things I bought because it was still in the bag. And that bag is orange. And I still can't make sense of it. I was like, there's a glitch. Something's happening. And like, honestly, if
Spooky
I didn't
icky.
think that people would think that I'm Delulu, I would 100% go back to that Ulta and be like, can I see your security cameras? Did you give me a pink bag? Like,
My
I need
matrix
to,
is glitching.
yes. And I need proof. I can't take it. I need answers.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's really fair.
Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. Anyway, well, now that I'm spazzing out, um, I think we've covered what we came here to cover, which
Nothing.
was a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. Um, um, so I will talk to you later. Um, if you guys are minimalist, maximalist, or mediumist, not the ghost kind, comment below. Let us know what you're into. What is your obsession or uh guilty pleasure? What's something that like you're like, "Oh, I don't need 57 of these, but I have to have 57 of those." We'd love to know. Mine is cups. My husband will tell you. I don't know why. I also am obsessed with office supplies because it makes me feel like my life is more organized than it is. I know the girlies
Notebooks.
can
We have
relate.
way more notebooks than we should.
I don't take notes about anything. I probably should, but I don't.
I got this cute little notebook for the podcast. It has tiny little strawberries on it.
That is very cute. Okay, well, anyway, comment below. Let us know. Subscribe to our channel. Listen to our previous episodes. We're quite a hoot.
Also, February, since we're now in February, is like Heart Health Awareness Month. So do
Yes.
your cardio, drink your water,
Yes.
lay off the fast food as much.
If you're older,
Take care of your
pop that
take
bear
care of your ticker.
aspirin.
Yes, take care of your ticker. It'll keep you around longer. We'll be famous by then when we're old. Unless we just like pull our cord and bail out.
I don't have one of those.
What if we did that? What if we bailed out on this and like didn't take it off anything, and then like 5 years later somebody just finds something stupid that we said and it becomes viral, and then everybody just starts listening?
I'm
Anyway,
telling
okay,
you,
we're not gonna
you
fall down that rabbit
are.
hole.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will talk to you later, bestie. Love and miss you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.